Good morning, and welcome to the Magnum Cafe on this balm and warm Thursday morning in the middle of summer. Luckily, my studio has a lot of air conditioning, and the secret is out. Even the golden retrievers are all down here on the floor going, yeah, we're going to hang out with Dad today because he's in the cold box, because all of this tech gets pretty warm. But as I wait for a few more people coming in, I thought I'd start with our introduction here today, because I've had a lot of requests of late to really explain what's going on behind me a little bit better. And it all started really from a conversation we had live last week, where if you are an entrepreneur, you need to leverage your voice. You need to essentially multiply your reach. You need to use social media, you need to use marketing, you might need to use assistants, sales guys, sales funnels, advertising, AI, virtual assistants, you name it, okay? All of that is really designed to replicate you, leverage you, enhance you, and get your message multiplied out there and put it in front of your right fit client, investor, or partner. Problem is, if you take 0 and you multiply it by 1,000, what do you get? Well, you still get 0. If you take 0 and multiply it by 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000, who cares? It's still 0. And that's the problem that so many entrepreneurs face, is that they're applying leverage, right? So when I mean leverage, I mean all of those things, including AI, to something that has not been fully extracted yet. They want to delegate the task of marketing, sales, capital raising, investor attraction, advertising, all of these things to something that hasn't been fully extracted yet. And here is where it gets difficult. When you try and do that, you're kind of in your marketing brain. So you slather on these layers of marketing speak, corporate speak, yada yada, the voices that we think people need to hear. And yeah, sometimes they're authentic, but mostly they're under so many layers of bullshit that just don't resonate. And we have found that our greatest work is, and I mean really taking people from 0 to the stratosphere, that the greatest work we can do with them one-on-one is to really spend very valuable, concentrated time extracting and pulling out all of the stories, all of the scar tissues, all of the mistakes, all of the missteps, all of the mishaps that happened en route to essentially your epiphany, where you said, you know what, stop, enough now, I'm going to go forth and I'm going to go build this business. And that process, doing it manually, is actually really hard work, and it's actually quite difficult, because when two men sit down together, the egos come into play, and we start positioning, and we start, posturing, and, my boat's bigger than yours, and all that kind of stuff. And it actually gets really hard to find the authentic voice. So we turned this into a single onboarding process through Ignis. And Ignis is a really incredible gift, because it works better using AI than it does in person, in that our agent interviews you using a technique and skills that we have acquired over, both Louise and I have been in this business for 35 years each. And that takes some experience to do that. But that interview, I'm always on the wrong side because the cameras are mirrored. Through the interview, it extracts from you your voice, a deep, clean cut of your story, of your history, of your background, where you come from, some of the things that keep you up at night, some of the unfinished things, and it pulls your voice out. And then in step 2, we do the same with your writing. We capture all your written documents, your transcripts, any videos, any speeches, any marketing presentations, even your LinkedIn posts, and go and build you your strategy brain, your voice, and your style, and a full initial build of documents to see if we have captured your voice. And then from there, we can start producing your content, your AI identity, and that all feeds into the story selling toolkit. Because we as humans and as businessmen, we sell through stories. That is the number one way, and we have a lot of tools for you to discuss on that, but we tell stories because they make people feel something so that they will do something. Hopefully that's good for them, that you can help them with, right? So it's not manipulation. It is essentially using the best tools available to get your client, your right fit client, investor, and partner, the result, the thing that they actually really need. And great stories are built on great facts and history and imperfection. And that is what makes this process so brilliant. So this was the very first tool that we built, and it really has led through some incredible breakthrough results. Almost no one has gotten through it without actually shedding a tear or two, because it goes so deep that it touches conversations that you should have had with yourself 30 years ago. Anyway, so from here, we basically build on from this, because all of these results are captured in an encrypted database that only your computer can read. I can't read it. And we then go clockwise around this ring, because we're trying to extract and help you build your magnum opus, right? And it needs a couple of different steps. So the next one that's in the process is your zone of genius amplifier. So you'll see this is my dashboard. So mine, let me get my head out the way. You'll see if mine are completed and done, they actually light up and they go green. For some people who haven't done it, this is all grayed out and there are no buttons. From here, we go into the zone of genius amplifier. And I'll tell you why that's important. Because so many of us have gotten really good at being good. We're almost complacent with being good and being excellent. But that's not your zone of genius. And as you get older, which is why we tend to work with people in the latter half of their lives, right? And their second act, you realize that what got you here is not what's going to take you there. If you guys remember that amazing book called Good to Great, that's where the thought first came on. And we have built that into a very scalable process. But only you can do the work. You need to actually sit down and answer those questions of extracting what actually is your zone of genius. And from there, the chain continues. And it is a wonderful gift that we have, that we do with our clients, because all of it is based on their absolutely authentic identity core. And then from there, we build as entrepreneurs. From here, now we can give you all of the storytelling, the marketing, the sales tools, all of the toolkits, all of our training, all of our events, our live coaching, everything now has a platform to build from. And even Oro, who's our golden retriever chatbot, he's not just a chatbot. He has been trained in Ulrich and Laura Louise's full methodology. He's read every book that has shaped our work. He's even, I hate to admit this, he's even read our competitors' books. But he's also got expertise in areas of compliance that for me are like watching paint dry, but they're necessary, right? But he can read your vault. He can read your filings. He can read your voice. He can read your brain. So now at 2:00 in the morning, if you're preparing for a keynote speech, yeah, we've got amazing tools to help you write that speech. But Oro is there as an assistant. He'll say, oh, careful of this, do that. By the way, you tried this last time, it didn't work. Do this, and so on, because he's got a memory. It is a marvelous piece of engineering. And, you know, for me, as the builder and the architect of this, Laura Louise is the brains. I'm the builder. I'm the engineer in the process here. I get into engineering mode where I start talking about all the parts because all the parts are really exciting. But as entrepreneurs, we need to always remember you need to sell the payoff, not the parts. Nobody cares about all these cool parts if they don't see the payoff. And the payoff in this Magnum Vault Pass has been just a wonderful journey of helping our friends, our entrepreneurs, our closest clients and partners really with everything that they need, because this is the room that I was looking for. Now, we have been through Tony Robbins' Platinum Partnership. We've been in some of the most expensive masterminds on the planet. We've done any possible course or training. I mean, you name it. We have spent millions on self-development and self-help. Some people call it shelf-help because that's where it sits. And this room that we built did not exist because as entrepreneurs, we don't just need more training. We need a community because everything we have is running on these 4 principles that are right here behind me. And I can actually get my head out the way so you can see them clearer, right? So it's right up there. If you look at the Magnum Opus dial, and I can probably expand the size of that a little. Let me see if that works. No, normally it just increases the text. It doesn't actually increase the image size. But the Magnum Opus, which is that thing that is still inside you, that remains to be built. If you don't work on all 4 of these areas at once, you're going to suffer with what I struggled with. It's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and you just constantly feel unfulfilled and like you're just running to catch your tail. And we figured out that the best and most sustainable way to do it and continue momentum is to work on 4 areas at the same time. And that is your wealth, obviously, but also your health. Those have to run side by side. Your mindset and your community. So that's why we call it in the middle, Magnum Health, Magnum Wealth, Magnum Mindset, your great mindset, and the Magnum Nation, which is your tribe and your community. This is the people that you do it for and the people that you do it with. If that is not right, none of it makes any sense. So that is my, what should be short, but 15-minute introduction into the most powerful thing I've ever built in my life. It is extremely competent and powerful to really get your voice from inside you and help you work on your magnum opus in a very scientific, sequential manner. Because, you know, we've made it so easy for the rest of the world to talk into our microphone, to put all of their monkeys on our calendars. And your magnum opus and my magnum opus remains unbuilt, sitting in a drawer somewhere. This stops that today. So from here, we have put in every single program, every single event we've ever held, every recording, every video. I mean, there are programs in here that cost over $40,000. All of the tools, any tool that I can think of that you need as an entrepreneur to ship your message, get the results, are all in here. And I will provide a full video tour of the vault and all of the toolkits and everything that's in here. Every possible tool that you can think of. If you need it, it's in here. If you need it built, ping me a message and I'll have it built for you. But the full tour is about 15, 20 minutes. Every book, every library, everything that you need that I can put at your disposal to make you dangerous is already in the vault. All of our programs, I mean, you name it, it is all in here. bunch of new, very helpful AI-powered tools. The Magnum Right Fit Client Extractor. I mean, this thing alone, I think is worth tens of thousands of dollars for me because it reads your corpus of your submissions. It reads your identity, everything, all the work that you've done, and helps you really run and identify your right fit client. So if you look at mine, it's absolutely spot on. Let me get out the way. Your right fit client is a serious operator, typically 50 and above, who has spent 3 decades building something real. A real track record, real returns, real scar tissue. He's brilliant at the craft and largely invisible to the capital that should be backing him. He has tried the conventional solutions, third-party marketers, the conference circus, the 15th version of the pitch deck, and none of it has moved the needle because none of it started with the right sequence. Anyway, values, super important. Faith, family, fortitude, freedom, and financial integrity. He values gratitude and respect, and he gives both when he receives them. He stands for something specific and is not afraid to say it. He is a patriot of his country and carries his values into the work, not as a marketing tool, but as a filter for every room he enters. Okay, it's absolutely spot on because this is who I love working with. It is absolutely nailed it. Now, I didn't write it. It wrote for me because it interviewed me. See what I mean? So it is my absolute pleasure to present this to you, to invite you into a further, deeper discussion if you would like to do that. Every member of the MVP is interviewed by either Laura Louise or me or both of us personally. Because the people that are in this foxhole with us are incredibly important. And we need to make sure that not only they are a good fit, but that we can actually deliver the results that they need in order to ship and create their magnum opus. So that needs a conversation. So if that is you, I would love to have a quick conversation with you. I can drop a link down below. You can. I'm not a fan of these, these Calendly links, but they do serve a purpose. So you don't have to send 20 emails backwards and forwards. Mine is super easy. magnumvault.com/call. I will drop the link there for you, and that is it for now and today. So I really thank you for showing up on time and being here, everybody. And I'd love to see you inside the Magnum Vault. And until our next conversation, catch you guys later. Bye.